So I'm going to put this out there for two reasons. Number one, I just want to show how Union County, North Carolina has like always had a problem with DSS abusing children. This was actually a supervisor caseworker that was, beat, starved. They put like the chicken um, feet around him with a chain. And this is like a pattern of behavior in Union County, North Carolina. That's kind of, important in all this. But my reason for posting this is not really to, further exploit this boy. Now he's a man. I would really like to speak with him. I would also like to speak with the sheriff deputies that found him. I recall after this happened, I remember reading about the sheriff deputy who found him being like traumatized by this, because I can't even imagine. I would really like to speak with these people, and I certainly would keep your names, hidden. My reason for this is because I want to further understand the healing process that this boy went through, and the deputy. I know that it's not a matter of if, but when I get my daughter back, I know that there's going to be a healing process and a reconnecting process, and helping her um, deal with what has happened and the anger, and just all the different feelings. So I would really like to further understand what this young man, not necessarily what he went through, but what his healing process was after this happened, as well as the deputy. I think this type of situation is like, it's the most horrific thing in the world for a parent to lose a child, whether it be, by death or by parental alienation. I mean, it's a horrific feeling. I mean, you don't feel complete. You don't feel. I mean, it's horrific to not know if your children are okay and if they're safe and if they're eating well and if they're going to school and things of that nature. It's literally it's a trauma of all traumas. I really don't even know. I don't have the words to describe the pain associated with it. And I know that it's a healing journey, not only for the parents, but I know for the kids as well. So I'm really trying to understand what that process looks like, I guess, because I'm trying to prepare for it and also understand it so that I can have things in place for my daughter. I just want to be like game ready for it, if that makes sense. So if anyone has any insight on this, but if you look at this, like this made national news, okay, when this happened. This is horrible. And it's horrible that Union County is like known for that, but I think what's even worse is that they're still treating children like shit. They're still um, doing this to children. The family courts there are still, ripping children from their parents that have, when they have healthy bonds. Like, I know with my daughter, like she was going to therapy because she was starting to realize like that her dad wasn't in her life, and um, it ended up they flipped it out. They flipped it on me, and he's not a nice person. He's not a healthy person. He's an abusive alcoholic who what had a incestual relationship, like for real, with his mother as a child. Now my daughter's sleeping apparently in a room with him, and DSS didn't care. Neither did the guardian ad litem, Kristen Clark, or the guardian ad litem attorney, Vernon Cloud, and Jody Livingood. They didn't care. She kept making reports. She told, and nobody cared. So I know that there's going to be a lot of healing for my daughter. And I'd really like to speak with this, I guess he's a young man now. And again, I will protect your name. Same thing with the deputies. I just want to hear your healings. I want to hear your story. I don't want to talk about necessarily like what happened to you, although I know that's part of your story. I want to understand how you healed from it, how you um, were able to like get through such a horrible situation. On the flip side, I'm not trying to re-traumatize you or anything like that. I just think that that's kind of a really important part of your story. And I know that so he was 11 in 2013. I just think that I mean, look at this Daily News. This was a national story, and I feel horrible for this young man now. Like it's horrible that our government treats children this way, and that when you make complaints, even when, like you make complaints about violent people. I mean, I can't tell you. Even the constituent's office said to Union County DSS like this wasn't a safe situation. They didn't care, and she never followed up. Greta Gill is her name. Like she's not following up with me when I'm like, okay, they're not getting back to me about the civil rights complaint. She's like, well, you just have to ask them for a time frame. I'm like, did you not read my email? I'm saying they're not getting back to me. I asked her if there's a constituent's office for that. She's like, no. I mean, they really just get mad at you when you file complaints. But parents are filing complaints because they want to see change. Not only do they want their children safe, but you file a complaint because these people need to take accountability. And then when accountability is in play, then they change things. They've not done any of that. And it's horrible. This was like literally national news all over the place. It's just horrible. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it in other ways. I don't know if there's any supervisor caseworkers, because that's what this was. It was actually a woman who worked for DSS who had foster children. She was actually a supervisor caseworker. I'm going to call them a social worker because they call them social workers, but these are not. None of the caseworkers that worked on my case were licensed. Were licensed social workers, so they're going around with that name, but they're not licensed. So I'm going to put that out there for that reason. I would really like to. North Carolina senator wants state to take over Union County DSS. Like, I don't even know if the state would do a better job. And this was obviously back in 2014 when the senator said that. But I mean, I've written to senators. I've written to our legislators. Like, I've not received any. I've called their office. I've received nothing back. I've called the Union County District Attorney's office. I've called the Attorney General's office. I've driven to the Attorney General's office. I've sent them numerous emails. SBI, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, Child Trafficking Line. Like, I've done all of that. And I'm just getting ignored. And it's so aggravating. And I understand why they might think, like, oh, she's this crazy lady. Like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. My child is not in a good situation, especially with the, incest stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't want to think that, like, Red would do that. But I don't know. And they won't let me talk to her or see her or know anything about her. I have no idea how she did in school last year. And that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is I really want to speak with the young man who was involved in the situation and any of the deputies. And again, I will protect your name. I'm just really curious to know what the healing process was. I think it's important not only for me to understand for myself and my child, but I would like to put that out there to help other people, because this is happening all around the country. This is not just a Union County thing. It's really bad in Union County, North Carolina, but this is happening all across the country because I know that from speaking with different people and being in these different groups of like support groups of other parents that are experiencing parental alienation or who have been through the system, because they do a number on you. They really do.